So, the government shutdown. I got a video for you guys today. Mike Johnson, the little pinhead leader of the House, is lying for about 10 minutes on this video about the government shutdown. He keeps repeating his same talking points over and over. He's basically Trump's bitch, this guy. I mean, he doesn't think independently at all. You know, his head is so far up Trump's ass, it's not even funny. But the government shutdown, it's true that the Democrats won't vote to reopen the government, but the Republicans are in control of all three branches of the government, and they've been wielding that power all year, and now they don't want to wield that power because to get the government back open again, all they have to do is make one or two concessions to the Democrats, and they keep saying, and it's on Medicaid and health care for mostly MAGA people are 2/3 of the people that are going to get hit hard with this Medicaid cut. And Mike Johnson keeps saying, "Oh, he's like, we'll negotiate it after the government's back open." But first of all, the Republicans and Trump are a bunch of liars. You know, they do these rescission bills where money was already passed for something by Congress, and then they do a rescission bill and they take it back. But the legality of that is not even, the legality of that is on shaky ground. But Mike Johnson, I mean, he's just a careerist. He's going to do whatever Trump tells him to do because he knows that's the best way for him to further his career and make a lot of money. But guess what? After Trump's gone, Mike Johnson's going to be gone too. Or at best, he'll just be another member of the House. And everybody on both sides hates him in the House. It's the dirty little secret of the House of Representatives. Everybody hates Mike Johnson. Anyway, he was on with Tapper today, and I'm going to talk a little bit during this video. Sorry, but I just can't listen to all this bullshit he's spewing out. By the way, he lies about being a homosexual. He's been caught on Grindr, promising blowjobs to men and stuff. So anybody who lies about their sexuality is probably going to lie about anything else. But anyway, let's get to the video.
Last night, however, Senate Majority Leader John Thune, Republican of South Dakota, told MSNBC that he has privately told Senate Democratic leaders that if they need a commitment to a vote on extending Obamacare subsidies in exchange for their votes to reopen the government, well, he is willing, he said, to make that deal.
I've said if you need a vote, we can guarantee you get a vote by a date certain. At some point, Democrats have to take yes for an answer.
Yeah, here's the thing about that, what Thune just said. Trump could snap his fingers at any minute and say, open the government back up again, make a deal with the Democrats. It's not all in the hands of the Democrats like these guys keep trying to play it is. Trump wields total control of the government. Don't kid yourselves. So everything going wrong in the government right now is Donald Trump's fault. The economy, it's not Biden. The economy sucks. It's because of Trump. It's because of his tariffs. It's because he's not focused on the economy. He's focused on his ballroom and the culture wars and keeping the Epstein files hidden. But the last thing he's focused on is bringing down the price of groceries for you and me.
Now to discuss the government shutdown and much more, the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, Republican of Louisiana. Thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Speaker. So you heard your Senate counterpart there offering Senate Democrats a promise of a vote by a date certain on extending the Obamacare subsidies. Are you willing to offer the same in the House of Representatives?
Yes. I mean, we've always been prepared to have a vote on that. It's something that was going to be discussed and debated deliberately throughout October and November, remembering that this is an end-of-the-year issue. The subsidy doesn't expire until December 31st. And as I've also explained, Jake, I mean, we have 535 members in the House and Senate, and there are a myriad number of ideas on reforms.
Yeah, but the thing is, people are getting their notices on October 31st about what they want to do about, how much, what are some people are getting, a lot of people on the ACA are getting 100 to 250% increases, and they're getting the notices now on whether they want to re-sign up or not. So this is a little game Mike is playing, Mike Johnson, or the Republicans in general, because a lot of people are going to get off of health care altogether now because they can't afford it. And by the time they negotiate, all those people will be out of the health care system. And then they go into, medical bankruptcy. They go into the emergency room. Lines get longer at the emergency room for everybody. Republicans are just so full of shit.
It would be necessary to actually have that passed into law and extended.
Especially
we
this
need all
Republican.
this time to negotiate that. But yes, I mean, that has always been the intention. And Leader Thune and I meet almost every other day, at least, to touch gloves and make sure we're on the same page. He is bending over backwards to offer to Schumer and the Democrats everything possible to get the government opened again, but they've now voted 10 times to keep it shut down, and real harm is being felt by real American people. By the way, that overture by Leader Thune was turned down by Chuck Schumer. He wants a guaranteed outcome of that vote, and that's not something we can deliver today because we haven't had all that deliberation yet.
No, he wants a guaranteed
There's not a lot
vote.
of trust between Democrats and Republicans on the Hill right now. I want you to listen to what Senator Bernie Sanders said on our CNN town hall last night about talk of health care negotiations. This is what he said.
They've refused to negotiate, and anyone thinks that tomorrow they'll suddenly start negotiating, I think is smoking what is illegal in many states.
It sounds as though Leader Thune is negotiating behind the scenes to assure Democrats the negotiations are real. Are you talking at all to your Democratic counterparts? Are you doing any negotiating?
There have been constant negotiations going on, both inside the individual parties and across the chambers and across the aisle. I don't know
Look
what
at
Bernie
this
Sanders
guy.
is talking about. So much of what he
How
said,
can anybody
or
believe
what I've heard he
anything
said
that comes
at
out of
town
his
hall,
little weaselly
last
mouth?
night is incorrect, inaccurate. I think he knows that. He's been around here a long time. But look, this has, as I mentioned, the Obamacare subsidy was an issue that was always going to have to be resolved by way of consensus and thoughtful deliberation and discussion. There has been a lot of that on this subject. There is currently, and there will be going forward. That has nothing to do with the short-term stopgap funding measure of the continuing resolution. Bernie Sanders knows that. Chuck Schumer knows that. Everybody knows that. This is not a health care fight. This is a fight about keeping the lights on. This is a short-term funding fight, 7 weeks, simple measure to allow us to continue all this work. And ironically, they are the ones that are trying to stop that.
Okay, so one thing, we need to stop using the government shutdown and federal workers as a cudgel for politics. One easy law we could change to stop government shutdowns is not only not pay all the federal workers, but not pay Congress. Did you know that Congress gets their full paycheck? They don't get paid later. They don't get furloughed. They get their full paycheck, even though they work less than any other Americans. They get their $200,000 for the lowest paid Congress people. They get their full paycheck during a shutdown. So if we pass a law, but they would have to pass a law, of course. If we pass a law where if the government gets shut down, Congress doesn't get paid, the government will never get shut down again.
Republican Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene of Georgia has broken with your party, saying she's disgusted that these Obamacare subsidies are going to expire and that health insurance premiums could double. She says that Republican leaders have not given a plan to help the millions of Americans to deal with this. Do you have a plan?
Marjorie's frustrated because we're all frustrated. I had a thoughtful conversation with her on the phone right after she said that. I think the next evening. She's a friend and a colleague, and I explained to her all the deliberation and all the discussion that's been going on. Marjorie doesn't serve on the committees of jurisdiction where that's their specialty and their main area of interest. And I invited her to join the conversation and come into the room when all those deliberations are being had. So, look, there is a lot of frustration around here right now because we know that the American people are suffering. They're struggling right now. Paychecks are being withheld. Services are not being provided. I mean, real harm to real people because Chuck Schumer and the Democrats in the Senate are playing a game. I am very hopeful, Jake, that at least 5 Senate Democrats will come to their senses and do the right
All
thing.
the Republicans
we must have
do
60
with
votes
Trump
to break
is
the
play
impasse in the
games.
Senate. We sent over a totally clean CR, and I can't emphasize this enough. We did not put any Republican partisan priorities on that bill when we sent it over from the House. It's exactly what Chuck Schumer voted on last March, and it's the exact same thing they've done their entire careers and gave impassioned speeches that we should do because they said, and Chuck Schumer said himself as recently as March of this year, it would be terribly irresponsible and dangerous to shut the government down because of all the people who are harmed in that process. I don't know what's happened except that politics has gotten in the way, and he's afraid that he's going to have a challenge from AOC or one of the other Marxist Democrats, and that he's going to lose his Senate seat. That's the only way to explain.
Mike Johnson's not even smart enough to know what a Marxist is because AOC is not a Marxist. This guy is the biggest lying fucking piece of shit on earth right here. It's the Trump shutdown. The Democrats, yes, they voted to keep the government shut down because that's all the power they have right now. And I believe they should just open the government back up, let those 2/3 of MAGA people get fucked on their Medicaid and lose their health care, and let them feel the pain. So next time they go to the voter, they walk into that voter's booth, they're not voting for a orange-haired, spray-tanned, fucking lying billionaire. That's what they should do. But, you know, if you guys watch the channel, I'm a Bernie guy. I think the Democrats have run the country like shit for years, but the Republicans are even worse. The Republicans are just mean, spiteful little bitches like this guy, this little Christian fuck.
So speaking of AOC, last night at CNN's Town Hall, she criticized you for closing down the House of Representatives during this period where negotiation is needed and the Senate's in session. Take a listen.
They need to pick up a phone, Caitlin. I've never seen people who hate working so much in my life. I mean, genuinely, they won't even pick up the phone. If I were Mike Johnson, you should be in that office negotiating with Hakeem Jeffries every damn day until we reopen this government. And any day that you don't do that is a failure.
Your response, sir?
Yeah, instead of doing publicity stunts like AOC likes to.
Look at Johnson with his little bitch smile there. He's such a punk, man. I would. Anyway, guys, the government shutdown is all the Democrats have right now. Yes, if they voted with Republicans, they could get the government back open. But what happened the last time they voted with Republicans in the last government shutdown back in March? What mealy mouth little Mike Johnson bitch was talking about? When they voted for that shutdown, the Republicans turned around and did. When they voted not to shut down the government, Republicans turned around and did whatever they wanted. They put in rescission bills, which is if you don't know what a rescission bill is, it's a money that's already allocated for something. If you put in a rescission bill, which I said is like questionable the law on it, it takes back that money, and the president was demanding it. You know, all these Republicans, their thing is just fealty to Donald Trump. They're Donald Trump's little bitches. Not one of them can think for themselves. Anyway, guys, you can see this subject pissed me off, but thanks for watching this spin cycle. Go ahead and subscribe, like, share, comment, and I'll see you next time.